Hey everyone, it is Monday. That means it is time for another draft video, and right now that means more Shadows over Innistrad, so I'll be back with you guys when the first pack opens. Okay, so this is an interesting decision. So Thing in the Ice is really sweet. If you can first pick it, it's pretty fun to build around, but it has its downsides. I mean, you really have to get there on a blue-red spells deck, and it's just it can't be your only win condition even when you do have it, because if it dies, it's dead. So that has that problem. Meanwhile, Bygone Bishop is a very good card, and probably what I will take here. In limited, you already draft a lot of things that cost 3 or less, and if they all investigate for you, that's great. Plus, he's a 3-mana, 2/3 flyer. Those are all things that are great. Thinking that's kind of the opposite. It's a 2-mana 0/4, which is okay. I guess it blocks. And if everything goes right, you have a 7/8. But with this, the fail case is much better. These are all good uncommons except for Not Forgotten 2. They're all cards that I like a lot. Kindly Stranger. I would probably rate the cards in this pack like Bygone Bishop, then Thing in the Ice, Kindly Stranger, Stitchwing Scob, and Geese's Bidding. Those cards. A lot of strong cards in this pack. We do need to keep in mind that if we're passing this, someone's probably going to go into blue-red spells, but we will take the Bishop here because I think it's better most of the time than Thing in the Ice will be. Okay. So, we could take our good red card, like Eldarin Duelist. We could take Ongoing Investigation even and see if we can get there on a clue deck. Bygone Bishop obviously already is sort of dragging us in a clue direction. We could go blue-white clues and splash green. We could take Just the Wind, which is fine. I'm kind of tempted to just go with Ongoing Investigation. I've had a lot of fun every time I've drafted it, and that's where I'm leaning here. Eldarin Duelist and Vessel of Nascency and Lambholt Pacifist are all good, but I mean, and so is Just the Wind, and so is Ongoing Investigation. I think I want to take the Investigation. It gives us synergy already. We can try to make a blue-white deck work, and we probably do want to try to splash a little bit of green just so we can sometimes use its activated ability, but we're going to go for it. Make the clues happen. So Pour the Pages is really good. It's more for a controlling deck, which might be what we are. Drownyard Explorers obviously goes well with our theme. Apothecary Geist is good. Silent Observer is good. I think I'm just going to go for power, though, and take Pour over the Pages here. The white cards here, I mean, Apothecary Geist is the best one, but I think I take Pour. Just pure power. If we pick up a few cards with Madness, it gets better. So Stormrider Spirit is fine. I think it's probably what I take. I don't really want Stern Constable. Scourge Wolf is pretty good. But I don't really think we're going that route. We may end up going that route, although blue looks decently open. It's white that's kind of a problem, so we may end up in a different deck, but I think we'll probably still be blue. We might be blue-green, I guess. We'll take the Spirit, though, which I like a fair bit. So far we don't have any other creatures that trigger Bygone Bishop. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I think we take this and we try to, have a nice engine of Bygone Bishop, Ongoing Investigation, Ulvenwald Mysteries. We need to be splashing green to make it work. Or it could be that we end up splashing white for Bygone Bishop. Either way, I think we take Ulvenwald Mysteries here. The other cards here, none of them are huge signals. I mean, Intrepid Provisioner is a good card. The rest of the cards in this pack are woefully, Grotesque Mutation, Uncaged Fury, great in aggressive decks, but Ulvenwald Mysteries is definitely like the highest power level in this pack in general, and we'll go for it there. Okay, so this is a pretty strong black card to still be around. So that's worth mentioning. We probably just take a serviceable 2-drop like Furtive Homunculus, who works well with Ongoing Investigation in that he has some evasion, and works well with Bygone Bishop. He's better than Scob, I think, although the Scob is something I don't hate playing, especially when I have Bygone Bishop, but we'll take the Homunculus. Okay, so we have the choice here of another Stormrider Spirit, a Spectral Shepherd, which would make it so we are more likely blue-white than anything, or a Gone Missing. Kind of leaning towards a Spirit over the 5-drop Spirit because it's just good. I mean, we already have 3 Spirits. Its evasive ability is relevant. You can even make as many a lot of clues if you have enough mana. And it costs 3 or less for Bygone Bishop, and it has evasion for Ongoing Investigation, which is pretty important. So that's where we're going to go. All right, so we can go for Wildfield Scarecrow, which definitely will help us splash. We could also go for Emissary of the Sleepless, which is fine. We could also go for Jace's Scrutiny, which I think is pretty good. But I don't hate the idea of picking up something that makes it easy for me to splash early, and I think that's what I do here. Also triggers Bygone Bishop. It's not great with ongoing investigation, but it does trigger Bygone Bishop, and we may end up with something with Delirium. But the Emissary and Jace's Scrutiny are both cards I wouldn't mind having in the final product here, but we're just going to take the card that helps us splash rather easily, and is a good blocker on the ground as well, so it sort of fits into the Blue-White Skies plan anyway. Because we definitely want to be splashing this bad boy. Okay, so things have sort of dried up for us. There's a strong red card here, a fine green card, and a meh blue card. I think I'm going to take the green card. I could just sort of hate draft that, but I think we'll take the green card. I mean, something could happen and we can end up in green somehow or another. So there is a vessel here, speaking of ending up in green. It's still being there this late is interesting. Duelist being here this late is also pretty amazing. It's a strong card. Could we sort of evolve into like a completely different kind of deck? I don't know that we have it in us. I think I'm just going to take the decent 5-drop that we probably won't play. And yay, this wheeled, so that's a good sign. We definitely want that. And we might want this. Pick up some madness. Take away a mentor from someone. And yeah, I guess I'll take away a runaway carriage from somebody. So this wheeling is a decent sign. I mean, it's a good blue card. And we picked up the sort of big payoff for spirits. And we already have, I guess we only have 3 spirits so far. Furtive Homunculus is a homunculus, which means tiny human in Latin. Basically, it's the diminutive form of homo, which is human in Latin. So it's an interesting use of the word because these things aren't exactly tiny people. Oh gosh, what? Every time I open him, I'm like not in his colors at all. I mean, you know, I'm looking a gift horse in the mouth because he is worth some tickets. So it's probably what I take here anyway. But it is. I never get to play him. I've never played him, and I've drafted this format quite a lot. But we have to take him. He's worth 5 tickets. I mean, what we're giving up is like Griff's Boon and Inspiring Captain. We're not giving up anything huge. I mean, there's a chance we could try to splash for him. We do have a Wild Field Scarecrow. I mean, maybe we don't end up super clue heavy and we don't want our clue engine and we'd rather just go for sheer power, and Soren would give us that. So that is something to keep in mind. So I guess we'll take him. He's not completely out of the realm of being playable. I mean, we're definitely taking him for how much he's worth. Ooh, hello. Well, there's a strong white card. I like Neglected Heirloom as well, but yeah, it's definitely Handwire Militia Captain. Having a low curve is great with that. Plays really well into Bygone Bishop as well, because having a low curve in general does. We don't get to investigate every time it makes a token when it flips because it's not cast, but I wouldn't mind getting Strength of Arms or this Griff Spoon back. There were 2 Griff Spoons. Maybe we get one back, but we definitely take the Militia Captain here. I could have had so many Valderan Duelists. Now Near Heath Chaplain, so we're just sort of picking up power cards here that I love, and that's a good thing. I like Sleep Paralysis. It is a good removal spell, but I think the Chaplain's better, and we actually don't have any removal yet, so we probably need to pick up some stuff like Sleep Paralysis, but Chaplain's too strong. Puncturing Light I wouldn't mind picking up on the wheel. Well, there's a really strong removal spell. So suddenly white's looking stupid open. So we just picked up, this is our 3rd powerful white card in a row. There's a good blue card here too, but I think we just pick up the amazing removal spell. Expose Evil isn't something I would mind, but you can't really pass Bound by Moonsilver, I don't think. Well, there's Triskaidekaphobia. Here's Angelic Purge, which is good. Press for Answers is also good. But I think I'm going to lean towards taking the removal here. We have 2 really good removal spells that can kill anything now, which I like. So, and another one of these is good as well. I like Jace's Scrutiny, but we sort of seem to be moving away from a super like tempo theme just to being a deck with a bunch of evasive creatures and good creatures, which is fine. And we may want some more clue synergy. At this point, we don't really have huge payoffs other than Ulvenwald Mysteries, which it isn't guaranteed we play, but I think I just pick up another Shepherd here. Okay, so I could take a Thraben Inspector or a Niblis of Dusk. I haven't picked up a blue card in a while. What happens if we cut blue? Do we lose? I mean, the biggest thing we lose is ongoing investigation, which is also another incentive to be splashing green, incidentally. And I think we probably take the Niblis. Evasion is very good with our investigation. It's a low curve creature, which works well with Handwire Militia Captain, which works well with Bygone Bishop as well. It's also a Spirit, which works with Spectral Shepherd. Thraben Inspector is good, but I think in this deck we want all of the flyers, so we'll take Niblis. Okay, we'll take a 2-drop Spirit here, Moorland Drifter, who also happens to get flying if you get Delirium. So flying is good. So I don't know. I mean, we probably play, because we have so many evasive creatures, we probably play Ongoing Investigation no matter what. We're probably not playing you, even if we're not splashing green. Now, if we can find a way to splash green and black, I would be thrilled. Hey, Griffspoon, yes, please. I mean, you know, it's not amazing in our deck because we already have tons of flyers, but I'm going to take it anyway. It would definitely be better in a weird way if we didn't have so many flyers. So do we want a good trick here? We don't have equipment to fully take advantage. We probably just want a way to pump our whole team of flyers. So we'll take Inspiring Captain. I mean, I think I'm just going to take away a playable 2-drop from somebody. And I'll take this. It's not the worst sideboard card against an army of X1s. And here's a piece of equipment that we probably don't run, but we can think about it. It's at its best in like a, oh gosh, our deck is going to be stupid strong. We got Always Watching to go with all of these flyers, which is a frightening thing for our opponents to have to deal with. We're giving up Angelic Purge, but Always Watching is the clear pick here. It's a card, in my limited review, I didn't have on the list of the top 10 rares, but in my recent list from, well, you know, it's, I don't know, 4 weeks old or something by now, maybe older, of cards, things I got wrong in my limited review. I said I should have had Always Watching on that list from playing this format. It's hard to beat and it's hard to lose when you play it. So, and we have a Purge here, but I think we definitely take Always Watching. So, okay. So here we can take a Scob or we can take a Press for Answers. Press for Answers makes clues and stuff, but this is yet another flyer for our deck. Stormrider Spirit's good too, but I do like Scob more, and I think we take the Scob. I don't think we're really going to be the super clue-heavy deck, interestingly. I mean, we're probably splashing green for that thing. Wow, Elusive Tormentor. Nobody's black between me and the next person. We'll probably just take our Gossip Monger here, though. We have 3 2-drops. So we have a decent chance of being able to flip him on turn 2 and things like that. True Face Sensor is not bad either with all of our evasion, but Gossip Monger is pretty strong at any stage of the game, really. This can help us splash. I mean, we already have our Scarecrow, but this would really sort of solidify us for splashability. And is that worth it more? Is that worth more to me than a Town Gossip Monger? You know, I'm not sure. Essence Flux also worth looking at. It'll probably wheel, though, if we want it. We probably do want it at least for our sideboard, since we have tons of spirits. But, I mean, Ulvenwald Mysteries is amazing. And I'm gonna forego the 1-drop for being able to splash green, which probably means you're out of here. And we're also going to forego the clue generator for the thing with spirit synergies at this point. And that has evasion, which is getting better and better the more things that happen that have been happening in this draft. Between Always Watching, Inspiring Captain, and Handwire Militia Captain, we want lots of creatures. Okay, so we're going to put this over here for now since it sort of inflates the number of playables we have. Pour Over the Pages may end up not being super great in our deck full of aggression, so that's worth thinking about. So, do we want Devilthorn Fox or Furtive Homunculus? Probably the Fox. Gives us another 2. Oh yeah, we didn't pick up the 1 though. But it's probably the Fox. I mean, the Homunculus does have an evasive ability, but this just hits harder early. And the evasion on this, you know, it's kind of irrelevant a good amount of the time, so I'll take the Fox. Okay, so we are kind of low on removal. I mean, we have 2 strong removal spells, and that's it, basically. We wouldn't mind some ways to bounce stuff. Happens to make a clue. Reckless Scholar's good, but we have no madness outlets. I mean, that would be a madness outlet. We have no madness. Looting is, of course, good, but I'm not sure I want it more than something like Gone Missing or Press. Again, we have tons of flyers, so press isn't as good as it is in a deck that has like double Thorn Foxes coming out of everywhere and stuff like that. We could just take Moorland Drifter for the minor spirit synergies we have, but we are pretty low on removal. And neither of these are real removal, so I'm just going to go ahead and take another flyer. I think the removal might have been the right choice, but we'll take this Emissary of the Sleepless, and now we don't have much of anything. I'll take a Confront. I could take a Companion, I guess. It is playable, and in one of our primary colors, so I will. I'll take Geist Blast away from someone. So everything's sort of dried up for us. Well, okay. Don't know that we're going to play it, but I'll take this away from someone since it's a good card against us. But our deck looks pretty good. The one thing we don't have a lot of is removal. But I don't know how many of our creatures fly or can gain flying, but it's a lot of them. Okay, well, Drowned Explorer is number 2. This is probably, it does go wide, but the token doesn't get the bonus. I think Stormrider Spirit's just better than Emissary of the Sleepless. So I think we cut that. I think we probably don't even want Pour Over the Pages anymore. Our deck just ended up being all about turning our cards sideways. Well, okay. We probably will play one Gone Missing if we can. And we have to evaluate whether Griffspoon's worth it. I need to look at how many of our creatures actually have flying. Because if it's a ton, like I think it is, it gets worse. We probably only want one Drownyard Explorers in this thing. So we'll trim one of them. Now, Nearheath Chaplain with Griffspoon is kind of a frightening thing, but that's sort of an ideal situation. So once we get to there we go, deck building screen. So group creatures separately. So you don't have flying. Actually, none of my 2s always have flying anyway. The Drifters can gain it. I think we ended up with 10 creatures that can trigger Vigon Bishop. I think that's pretty good. So creatures with flying, right? I lost track of my train of thought there. So we have 4 here, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 creatures with flying. So I don't know that we do want Griffspoon. It's a lot of time in our deck just going to be a +1/+0 bonus. It is worth noting Ulvenwald Mysteries tokens can get it put on it and stuff like that. But this just may not be the deck. This is obviously amazing with it too. But the number of, we have 17 creatures in our deck right now, right? Which is what we want, especially with Always Watching. But we have very few that really want flying. So we have these 4 2-drops, or 5 2-drops, excuse me. This doesn't need flying, obviously. This can gain it, but it's not very exciting. This can gain it, and it is exciting, but that's it. Inspiring Captain's okay with it too. So I just don't think we want it. I don't know if I've ever cut a Griffspoon before, but I've also never quite ended up with this many flyers. So these flyers go great with our Always Watching. They go great with Ongoing Investigation. I wouldn't mind picking up a Tenacity somewhere, but I think we do want Gone Missing. Having one sort of spell to bounce like a big flyer that gets put in our way, or the stupid spider that gets in the way, who would be quite good against our deck. So hopefully we don't play green. Unfortunately, I'm once again not going to get to play Sorin, but he does make it so going 2-1 in this deck with this deck will be enough to break even. I think we want both Storm Riders. Our curve is pretty attractive for the most part. We definitely want to play 17 lands, and we should keep in mind that we have Emissary here, like against some opponents. Against Stitchwing Scob, for example, it's a pretty sweet blocker. But I like Storm Rider Spirit more, especially with what we're trying to do here with Always Watching and stuff. Although a 3/5 with Vigilance is quite good. Yeah, 1 Drownyard Explorers is good, I think. I think I'd rather have that than like another Furtive Homunculus or something. So, all right, let's do this thing. I'm glad I picked up that land to help me splash. Okay, so that's 2 green sources, 7 blue. And we're not desperate for blue at all, really. Like, most of our blue is 4 or later. We definitely have some blue things we'd like to play early, but I think 7 or 8. Oh, because, yeah, I didn't actually put this in. So we probably cut an island for that, yeah. So it gives us 2 greens. And then we have Wildfeared Scarecrow to search it out, and we don't desperately need green really, other than for ongoing investigation and Ulvenwald mysteries. So I think this deck looks pretty good. It does have a lot of cool synergy, and it's also just like an aggressive Blue-White Skies deck, which is one of my favorite like all-time draft archetypes. If you watch my other videos, you know I've made constructed decks that are Blue-White Skies decks that actually feature Always Watching, actually. So I'm a fan. But I think our deck looks pretty good. I hope we do well, and I'll see you guys in the first match. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.